Welcome to Trek Trav. I'm Trav, and we are discussing Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 6, Whistlespeak. And I have a lot to talk about in this episode because it's probably one of the weirdest yet unique episodes of Discovery I've seen since the show started. So make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and let's get into the review. I'm not going to do a play-by-play. I don't think that that's going to work with this episode. So I will obviously bring up spoilers, so calm down. This is going to happen. The next clue is in distilled water. They find out it's a planet that the Denobulans had used to create rain. Of course, while I'm recording this video, my cat decides to use the litter box. Because why else would you not choose this time? On this planet is a race of people. They have a strong spiritual belief in the gods that make it rain. Burnham and Tilly are our central characters for this episode. And I love that Burnham and Tilly, especially Tilly, because I feel like Tilly is the most open and fun character to have as a central role, and seeing her go through the endurance trials in order to get to the air creatory thing, the rain creatory thing. For her to get to the rain machine, she has to go through an endurance trial. Her and Burnham are running, and they're given a water which makes them really thirsty because it's based on one of their spiritual plays. It's an amazing... I want to say it's an interesting way to sort of add peril where there isn't peril. And the Faith is very keen on this. We get introduced to several characters of whom are very strong in their faith. The other story going on is Culber's spirituality, which I'm still I'm still not completely comfortable with the way that they're doing this. I'm worried that Star Trek doesn't go into religion unless it's like an alien religion, but they're sort of using the word spirituality, and I'm hoping it doesn't form into is or isn't there a god. And this episode kind of parallels with the aliens on the planet, because once Burnham has to break the Prime Directive, spoilers, we learn that he's sort of questioning his religion and he doesn't know what to say. And it's a nice parallel. I think the story in this episode, it was a much slower paced episode and had a lot more thought into the story and the writing, and it's a really interesting discovery this season, going into a more, I want to say, if Discovery was like this from the beginning, I think it would have been much more entertaining. I think it would have probably hit a lot more people better. Every episode this season, even the ones that I didn't particularly like, seem a lot more thought out. This episode is very much standalone, but linked to the larger story. The twist at the end, or towards the end, where they find out that actually after the endurance test, they're going to be sacrificed to the gods to try and get some rain. And it's an interesting look at how religion can affect a culture, and then this juxtaposition with Culber and the spirituality that he is sort of discovering within himself. And I know that this is not unique to Star Trek. Like Deep Space Nine did a lot of spirituality episodes, but this feels very much like almost showing old world religion, so sacrifice and blind belief and how it affects a society. And even Burnham says at the end to the religious elder, like, religions can evolve and they can change. And we get Culber talking about spirituality, and everyone's really supportive. And he finally talks to Stamets about this. And Stamets as a scientist is very much going, he's being supportive while I don't not really understanding. And the moments played really, really well. You can see that Stamets doesn't quite get it, but he wants to support the man he loves. And I love the scene where he just goes and helps him. There's a little bit of a smooch. Any gay kisses in Star Trek are an A+ from me. If you have any problems, write them in the comments. I'll argue with you. But I enjoyed that relationship. The relationship between Book and Culber is really good as well. Culber's obviously very central to this season. I don't know quite where they're going. I hope that it's not like he becomes a devout worshipper of the progenitors and vows to teach the progenitor religion. I don't think they'll go that way. I'm hoping they don't go that way. We're over halfway through the season. It's really fun. Like there was also a little side plot of Adira being on the bridge and Rhaena giving her the chance to be on the bridge and to do things, and she's not very confident, and he's being really supportive of her and what she wants to achieve because she's been very insecure since she had the bug on her. And I think Rhaena is the breath of fresh air this season. There's a really good balance between all the characters now. It's like they looked back on all of Discovery and said, what do we need to do? My main issue is, where is Detmer and Owo? Like, they went off with the Enterprise and they're just gone now, and we've got 2 new Helm officers. Maybe they got expensive? I don't know. But the religious aspect and the spiritualness in this episode has been going on the whole season. It's very much about learning lessons, and Burnham and Tilly talk about at the end how this is about, we have to be careful when we find the devices and when we find the progenitor's technology. And I didn't really get that from this episode. I don't think that was the message. The message of this episode seemed to be understanding that this is just me, what we perceive as superior or godlike could easily just be technology or aliens. Now, DS9 did this, TNG did this, I'm pretty sure Voyager did this. So I think that I'm hoping at the end of the season they give a little bit of sort of air around it for you to believe what you want in terms of how to view it. Because I don't want them to make the progenitors like Jesus. I think that would be a mistake, introducing that level of religion to Star Trek. Even though Deep Space Nine did it, Deep Space Nine ran that line really well. I don't know if Discovery will pull it off, but we'll see, I'm sure. Overall, I think the planet looks kind of like, it's like Stargate. And if you've ever watched Stargate, they keep going to pine forests. They did add a hue onto the pine forest to make it look a bit more alien, which was good. We get some great performances from Tilly and from Burnham, and we get Culber. He's an okay actor. He's not brilliant. I think that Booker's actor is the best. I think David Ajala. I think he actually, like, they talk about his relationship with Michael and him at the very, very end, and whether he thinks that they can rekindle that love. And he sort of goes, well, I can't answer that question. And I think that's fair enough. I would love to see Booker and Burnham get together. I think the 2 characters who have the best charisma in all of Discovery are Booker and Burnham. And I'm saying that even if you ignore any of the other elements, Booker and Burnham have a really good back and forth when you get them together. And they know that because they're putting them together in the season. It's a really fine line on a lot of these topics. And we've only got 4 episodes left. I think we've got 1 piece left of the puzzle. We got Denobula mentioned. I was hoping to see a Denobulan, but I know that Discovery does weird shit with the aliens in Star Trek. But this episode overall, the pacing, like, it took us a good 15 minutes to get onto the planet. And it was another sort of 10 minutes at the end where they're wrapping everything up. It felt like there was so much thought and so much building into this culture. Like, you got a real sense of who these people were and how they lived very quickly. and the water test of endurance was really interesting. The father willing to sacrifice his daughter for the gods, very Bible. But it overall, I would give this like a 9 out of 10. Yeah, no, 8 out of 10. It was almost the best episode of the season because it was like taking a breath. It was like going, oh, we're doing it like an adventure. The main progenitor plot isn't hugely important to this. It's just like we're on a romp on a planet, and that's what I really liked. I think Discovery should have been doing this from season 1. I think season 5 is turning out to be the best season of Discovery. And I would say, to me, series 2 and 3 are pretty damn good. But I think season 5, halfway through, I think it's got the best and most consistently good episodes going for it. What did you think about this episode? What do you think about Star Trek Discovery season 5, the first half? Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you to all the new subscribers, and I will see you very soon with another video. Have a good night.